Morning coffee today, folks. The party went all night long. Great night last night. We hit it. We hit our picks across the board. And if it wasn't for Reese Beekman's one free throw at the end of the game, could have been a perfect 10-0 night. I'm Mike Randle. Follow me on X at Randle Rand. Here at FTN Bets, we bring you college basketball picks. We come 3 times a week. We bring it aggressively. We bring it intensely. We bring you the insight for your college basketball picks. We went yesterday, Friday. Today we're going to alternate because as the NFL starts to slow down, college basketball sort of goes back and forth with different days, but we will bring you the picks. It's been fantastic. You see on the banner at the bottom there, you can still join us. FTN Bets, 10% off, promo code FTN wins. And that's what we did last night. 9-10, 15 over the last 16. Really excited. Now today's slate, interesting. Not as many big games as we had on Friday. So not a ton of picks, not the headliner games, but some things I definitely want to get into here across the board. Make sure to put the games in the comments. Josh is the man. Joins us here. Time to win. You're darn right it is. Any questions, put them in. I have some picks here. We'll go through them, and then let's have a conversation and get to what we want to get to. Small schools, opportunities. I always feel better, guys, and I think you know that when I have underdogs. Underdogs and unders always make me feel better, especially early in the year because we're still finding our way. Let's go through it and kick it off. First one here, Cornell plus 1.5 at Fordham. Now, Fordham's OT win at home against Wagner. It did nothing. But you know what it did? It kept this line reasonable. Wagner shot just 4 of 17 from three-point range in that game, and it went to overtime. Fordham pulled it out. I am not sold on Keith Ergo as a coach, and it is not just because I went to see them play Dayton with my 2 buddies, Chris and Anthony, and they got absolutely destroyed by Dayton last year. I just think the first year when you take over for a coach like Kyle Neptune, who did a nice job for a short time, I think there's going to be lingering success. And I think the second year is the differentiator in whether you can continue that success. A lot of turnover in this Fordham roster. Cornell comes in. You know what they're going to do? They're going to let it fly, baby. Brian Earl, 3-pointers. They're going to let it fly. 11 of 30 from three-point range against Lehigh, where they won. That was not easy. Sean Hansen, 25 points. He was 3 of 4 from three-point range. 6 of Cornell's top 7 players are back. You know I like that from last year at Florida Atlantic. Continuity with Cornell here. With some of the transfers that Fordham has, it's going to take a while to get acclimated. Fordham lost Khalid Moore. Fordham lost Darius Quisenberry. And Fordham lost Nowitzki, who was a starter as well. So I think this is a line that is a tad too high. One, I don't even think it should be favored because of their success last year. Cornell, good team in the Ivy, looking to win the Ivy this year and compete with the big Harvard, Princeton, Yale top teams in the Ivy every year. I like Cornell, the Big Red, plus 1.5 at Fordham. You cannot prepare for what Houston brings. The defense that Houston brings to you, you can't prepare for in practice. So I'm going to take Houston minus 18.5 first half line against Texas A&M Corpus Christi. Now, Houston, 23-11 against the spread in the non-conference since 20 and 21. That's almost 68%. I'm going to take the 18.5, and I do this sometimes with the big spreads because if I get that first half win, I don't have to worry about the backdoor cover in the second half. And if I don't get the first half win, maybe I get a friendly line that I can hit as well. It's 33.5 for the game. If you like that and you want to play that, it's fine. We get up to 33. I get a little nervous. I like 28-27, but for these big dominant schools like Houston to get a 33 or cover a 35-point line, that's a little frisky for me. So I like the first half in these spots. I expect their defense to come out strong. I expect it to be like 18-4, something like that. They get the first half win. We don't have to worry about a backdoor cover and go from there. Western Carolina plus 5.5 against Notre Dame. Look, it is a transitional year for Notre Dame. They have Micah Shrewsbury coming over here from Penn State. I think he's going to do a real solid job, but he is one player returning from last year who averaged 1.2 points per game. Their backcourt is 2 freshmen. Marcus Burton, who's phenomenal. Mr. Basketball Indiana lit up Niagara for 29 points. And Shrewsbury's son Braden is the other member of the backcourt. So it's an all-freshman backcourt that scored 36 of their 70 points in a game they did not cover against Niagara at home. Western Carolina comes in, tough guards, good team, coming back, will pressure you, will get after those freshmen. These are upperclassmen guards. They can shoot it as well. I like Western Carolina. It's 5.5. I got a 4.5 last night. It's 5.5. I like them here. Notre Dame is going to take some time to adjust. The only way we lose this is if Marcus Burton goes nuts again as a freshman and has possibly 28, 32 points. And if he does that, you tip your hat and you move on. I'll take Western Carolina plus 5.5. Folks, this is the game of the day. UNC Wilmington plus 1.5 at UNC Asheville. Now, I liked UNC Asheville against Michigan, got buried. Michigan may be better than I thought they were. Have to have a Bayesian process and be fluid in your analysis. UNC Wilmington looks like this year's potential Florida Atlantic. They shoot threes. They play defense. They have a super quick point guard. They have a big inside. They are a problem. This is a matchup of two of my favorite mid-major programs this year. I cannot wait to watch this game. Wilmington plus 1.5 against Asheville. I didn't like how Asheville looked against Michigan. Drew Pember has to have a monster game, and he did not against Michigan. Wilmington is superior on defense. Pressure the ball, turn you over. I think they're going to turn over Asheville here, who's still trying to adjust without their guard last year, who graduated. I will take Wilmington. When I first looked at this line, I took Asheville, bounce back spot, home opener, lost to Michigan. I'm going to take Wilmington. It could go either way here. I like Wilmington because I think they're a team that's going to be a major, major problem come NCAA tournament time as that dangerous mid-major, up-tempo, shoot threes, pressure the ball, veteran squad. I'll take Wilmington plus 1.5 against Asheville. It's going to be a great game. Same theory here with Creighton, as I told you with Houston, minus 14.5 against North Dakota State. North Dakota State's a problem. Don't be fooled by them. But Kalkbrenner inside makes this team very tough in the non-conference. You're not going to score inside. You have to shoot well from the outside. You know Creighton with Shireman's probably going to shoot well. Trey Alexander could be a breakout candidate. He has to score more. Nembhard is gone now. They can do that. Creighton is always tough at home. I'll take the 14.5. Again, worried about the backdoor cover here, but let's see how the first half goes. We can always make an adjustment for the second half. Same theory here with Creighton that I had with Houston. You know, Canisius is a problem. If Canisius just could have made some free throws, 5 of 17 from the free throw line against Syracuse, they could have won that game. Adrian Autry with Syracuse doing a nice job. They're playing man defense. They're pressuring the ball. They have 8 players returning for Reggie Weatherspoon and Canisius. They played very well. They shot it well. They rebound well. Hard-nosed, blue-collar team. Now they played St. Bonaventure, who I was not impressed with early on. Mark Schmidt does a great job with St. Bonaventure, but this team did not look great in their opening game. And now you have a game between two teams in New York. They beat Longwood 73-69 at home. I think Canisius is going to be up to this task. I don't think this should be double digits. This line is coming down. What do I expect? I expect a St. Bonaventure win by maybe 7 or 8 or possibly a Canisius upset. I don't like the double digits. I think we're getting a couple points of value. Sort of rivalry game. You want to say that proximity tends to play to the under. I'll take Canisius plus 11.5 in a nice battle here. And they should have won at Syracuse, and they know that. Boy, no Tolu Smith, no problem for Mississippi State. Just locked down Arizona State with a comfortable win. Really impressed what Chris Jans has done here with Mississippi State. He's one of the most underrated coaches in the country. Chris Jans has come over to this Mississippi State team, and just in a couple years, he went 21-13, 8-10 last year, had some nice wins. They started 1-0 with a great win there against Arizona State on a neutral court. They are tough. UT Martin, I'm going to go under 141.5, and I believe in Mississippi State because of their defense. I think it's their home opener. They get their tempo here. UT Martin's fine. They can have some streaks. They get up and down the floor as a typical small school will. That you're talking about in that middle area there, the Kentucky, the Louisiana, those teams like to press. They're athletic. They're great. They're fun to watch. But Mississippi State will play into the turnovers. They will get easy baskets. They will control their tempo. We will go under here in a superior defensive effort from Mississippi State. And for the same exact reason, I'm taking Mississippi State minus 12 in the first half. They were very good in that opening game. I didn't think they were going to be able to score as much without Tolu Smith. Listen, I like Tolu Smith, but they had some big-time performances. You had Trey Ford, who was 5 of 10 from three-point range. He put up 21 points. Deshaun Davis didn't have a great game. I actually missed on a ladder for him, but he had 10 points. Good, solid from the free throw line. Will turn you over like Mississippi State here. Well-coached team. Always like well-coached teams early in the season. Have some veterans returning as well. Milwaukee plus 14.5 against Providence. BJ Freeman, the star player for Milwaukee, who could be conference player of the year this year, was suspended in their first game for a violation of team rules. He posted on social media today some picture of him like this with his arms up in the air and his back with a basketball in his hand. Maybe I'm overthinking this. I think that means he's going to play. If BJ Freeman plays, this is a problem at Providence. Providence, of course, adjusting without Ed Cooley, new players coming in. They're not great at home covering spreads. They tend to play up to their opponents. They play down to their opponents. They're not going to be fired up for Milwaukee here. And I talked about this with Greg Peterson last night when we went on his podcast. You have Providence now. When you're looking at them with their games on the horizon, because I like to look at the schedule, they beat Columbia at home, sort of lackluster effort. They pulled away late. They have Wisconsin at home and Kansas State. So this is a sleepy spot for them against Milwaukee. If BJ Freeman does not play, I'd be careful with this one, but I have a feeling he's going to play, which is why the line's dropping. It could get down to about 12. There's still a 14.5 out there. Freeman makes a difference, 18 points per game. Like this team, well coached, this Milwaukee team. And their first game there, they played Wisconsin Stout, didn't do much, 91-73. But Bart Lundy's going to right the ship. He was 22-12, 14-6 last year in the horizon. This team has its sights on the horizon. BJ Freeman plays. I'm going to take this team. Stetson is good. No one knows it's Stetson. No one likes Stetson. Half of you are probably watching this right now telling me, where the heck is Stetson? Stetson is a problem. I like what Donnie Jones has done with this Hatters team. They have gone from 11-19 in 2022 to 17-14, 12-6 in the A-Sun last year. They are a tough team that no one wants to play. They can score it. They shoot 38% from three-point range. They're good at the free throw line. They don't turn the ball over. They just need to improve on defense. And folks, why on earth would we lay points with UNLV, a UNLV team in their first game who lost, and it wasn't particularly close, to Southern at home, 85-71. Stetson doesn't move the needle. You're going to give me double-digit points. Donnie Jones will keep the score low. You want to marry the under with the underdog. That's what we're doing here. Stetson plus 10.5. Give me a Rob Senderoff bounce back here. Talked about this with Greg Peterson also. I like Kent State. Kent State, of course, is coming off that absolutely brutal loss to James Madison, where they gave up 5 points in like 3 seconds with the offensive charge and the bomb for 3. This is a good Kent State team. They are always solid at home. They're going to be angry. There's going to be no hangover. Now you have Fresno coming across the country here to battle Kent State. Kent State's going to be angry. It's only 3.5. I think this line is adjusted way too much. James Madison is very, very good. They can make the tournament. They beat Michigan State on the road, and Kent State had them dead to rights. Fresno State, you are no James Madison. Kent State gets the win and bounces back. If you remember me from last year, you know that I take the Incredible Hulk gif and I just slam things back and forth to talk about Bradley at home. Folks, Bradley at home has been absolutely fantastic. They are lethal against the spread. They are tough. They play hard. They play good basketball, and they usually cover at home. Last year, 72% against the spread at home, and then in the non-conference, even better. Here comes Utah State. I'm going to take Bradley. I think they come out strong, -3 in the first half, and I'm going to take the -5.5 for the entire game. I like this Bradley team a lot. They score it. They get up the floor. They beat UAB away 73-71. That is a tough opening win. And when they play at home, they win. Take a look at their games from last year that they had. They played Utah State away last year, and they lost 84-62. But that was a Utah State team that had Ryan Odom. Now they have Danny Sprinkle. There's going to be an adjustment. And Bradley last year in the non-conference, they can battle and play some really, really tough games, especially at home. They beat Northern Iowa at home by 15. They went on the road a semi-way against Arkansas. They were hanging that game. Bradley usually battles. They're tough. They're strong on the boards. I like them in this spot. Utah State doesn't have the fluidity. Sprinkle is in, who's a good, solid coach. But I like this Bradley team to come out strong as they always do at home. And I like them for the full game, -5.5. On what planet should Loyola Chicago be laying 18.5 points to anyone? One of the worst teams against the spread in college basketball. I don't believe in Denzel Valentine. Yes, Braden Norris is back. Barstool was broadcasting that game against Florida Atlantic. Not even close. They were comfortably covering the entire time. You want to say Loyola Chicago wins? I have no problem with that. Loyola Chicago is not built to have a 20-point win. Eastern Illinois, not fantastic, but they can get turnovers. They can get up and down the floor. They are from the Ohio Valley, so they're going to battle here. Eastern Illinois in their first game they played Monmouth, and they won that game at home. Monmouth, the small school, Division II school, 91-45. They played at Illinois, got blown out in the second half. I just think 18.5 is too much. This is a pick against Loyola Chicago. They turn the ball over against FAU. 18.5. Eastern Illinois can get there and make some shots, keep this game close. This is one of my continual picks. The fade Mike White, which we didn't do because of the injuries. We continue moving forward. I even faded Shire against Arizona last night. We got that one. So again, coaches that have had either struggles or consistent production, like a Kelvin Sampson, who always has his team prepared, I tend to go there. I think 18.5 is too much, and no one is betting Eastern Illinois. Holy Cross is pesky. Holy Cross is annoying. Holy Cross will get and play defense and keep this game very sloppy. And I don't like Georgetown yet with Ed Cooley. I think they're going to get there, but I don't like them right away in this matchup. Georgetown is good, but not great this year. Lemoyne, that game was somewhat close for a while, which was disturbing. Holy Cross went out and played Siena and almost won at Siena. Siena's coming up in a minute. That's our next pick, by the way. Carm Massarella does a great job. Playing at Siena is tough. Holy Cross 16.5. And in that matchup against Siena, Holy Cross ended up shooting 10 of 20 from three-point range. So here is a pesky team that is going to play defense, that's going to guard you, that Georgetown is going to overlook, and they shot 10 of 20 from three-point range in a really tough environment at Siena. 16.5 is too much. I think this one's coming down as well. I see the questions. I'll get to them in a minute. And I think this is the last one we got here. Yeah, last one we got today. Siena plus 12 at Richmond. Carm Massarella has done fantastic work when he's an underdog on the road, and that's what we're going to go to here. He has a young team. He has a team that's adjusting, but Massarella has been fantastic. He is great on defense. They are great at getting their tempo, and they're going to battle. Now, Richmond here, they beat VMI 93-75. They score. They usually play well, but they have some tough games coming up. They're going to Boston College, which is not going to be easy. My BC Eagles look pretty decent this year, and Colorado on a neutral court. So they have some bigger games coming up. Siena usually grinds these games out. They play tough. They don't turn the ball over. Massarella, blue-collar guy. Siena looking to battle. Young team. I think this line is too much. I'm going to take 12 plus Richmond. Again, look at the theme. Eastern Illinois plus 18.5. Holy Cross plus 16. Siena plus 12. Stetson plus 10.5. Milwaukee, I like the underdogs early because I think we know more about these lines than the books do. Let's get rid of this. We'll get some questions in, and we will get out of here, folks. Let's see. Adam, good morning, Mike. Let's get to the window. You got it. Hey, everyone. Al is in the house. Long Beach State is calling your name, Trevor. God, Trevor, you are a loyal man. You are a loyal fan of the show. I love it. Long Beach State. Let's take a look at that one. I saw it, but I just didn't have anything on it. Long Beach State away at DePaul today. Yeah, DePaul doesn't look great. You could take Long Beach there, get a couple points at DePaul. DePaul struggled in their opening round game against Purdue-Fort Wayne. Purdue-Fort Wayne was a big underdog, came and got the win there. That's fine. Any lean with Ohio and Cleveland State? You know, I haven't done well, Al, fading Cleveland State. Okay. I was leaning Ohio. That was my lean, but I just haven't done well against Cleveland State. I seem to pick them and then I fade them and it doesn't work out. It's one of those teams that just frustrates me. Similar to Florida, by the way, a caveat emptor in that. I would lean Ohio, but I didn't pick it because I think it's a very close game either way. I'd like to have a strong read on that. Trevor is at Loyola. The crowd band kept in the game. They would have been routed by 25. That was in Chicago. Yeah, and Trevor, I felt no nerves in that game. I felt like FAU had it the entire time, comfortably throughout the game. FAU is good. They are back again. Elijah Martin didn't even start that game, and they still got the cover, which was fantastic. Ball State versus Old Dominion. Old Dominion slows it down. I looked at the under of this matchup, but I decided to stay away. Al, thank you. Yes, Trevor, I know. Purdue-Fort Wayne, good score. I had a good daily hit that day for college basketball. If you do DFS college basketball with Purdue-Fort Wayne, that was a big one. Who was it? Yeah, it was Quentin Morton Robinson had 24 points in that game. Rasheed Bello, 15 as well. No problem, Al. We're there. Guys, we are out of here. Not a great slate today. Not a ton of big-time games, but good ones. I cannot wait for that Asheville game against Wilmington. I do like Wilmington. I'm curious if it's the bounce back for Asheville, who you know I like this year, or if Wilmington is starting to they're on the radar. Wilmington's on the radar here of a 13 seed in March playing a big team. Very, very concerned. Trevor finishing up. Dana Stubblefield needs to go. He may. Great joke, guys. Thanks so much. We will be back. Love you guys. Next week, I'll put it out. I think we're going Monday, Tuesday, and Friday of next week. Let's get some positivity. Remember, 1-2 units every day. We just look to grind out. Join us here at FTN. Mike Kutry's already on fire, killing it. Frank Brank's getting hot. Walt Waddell never sleeps. You know what the deal is, folks. FTN, only place to be. The party is started, and it won't stop till we get to April.